And we're off once again. What's up, YouTubes? This is try number 2. We actually had to go to the neighbor's house and ask them if we could use their yard because they have better internet than we do. Remember, we're on an island here. So thank you guys for being patient. We're sorry we're such a wreck.
They don't even know where we are. We're on Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And we are on Maui, to be exact. And we're not living on Zingaro anymore because we shipwrecked outside of Hawaii on our way here. And that's what the live stream is about. For all of you that have not ever heard anything about this is these are the latest events on Zingaro. And if you want sneak peeks on live updates, then you can always go to Facebook and Instagram, where we informed our followers already. And patrons are obviously always completely up to date. And we've had a couple of things in the works over the last weeks that we are going to share with you guys today. And here comes Life with Sailing Zingaro, the second try live stream.
I gotta tell you, I love that song. That was all chemistry.
Oh, the intro song?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty epic.
So,
Okay, seriously now though.
where have we been?
In the episode that we're publishing on YouTube, we're behind because I just can't keep up with the editing. So that's just how it goes. So in the episodes, we're right now leaving Ecuador for Easter Island. And best decision ever. We had a great time there. We spent a whole season in the South Pacific. Easter Island, Pitcairn Group, French Polynesia. We did lots of sailing. We had storms. We had giant waves. We caught fish. We met other cultures, met other people, learned a whole bunch of new stuff that we are going to share with you in the future. Because no matter what's going to happen, I'm going to produce these episodes because they're my baby. They're awesome. The content we produced, just believe me, it's been amazing. Anyways, there's a time to leave because the cyclone season was moving into the South Pacific. So we decided, unlike most people that sail to New Zealand as soon as the cyclone season is present in the eastern South Pacific, we decided to go up to Hawaii for several reasons. James lived here in the past and we had friends here, and we figured there's good internet connection around here, so it would make our job easier to do more live streams. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do live streams.
No, it sucks. It's very stressful.
So we stopped by the Line Islands on our way north, also known as Kiribati.
Or
a
Kiribati.
beautiful group of islands. I can only recommend that to any sailor that is adventurous and wants to see like special and relatively untouched and, well, authentic islands, you know. It's just
Fanning Island was amazing. Go to
Beautiful.
Fanning if you ever have a chance. It's they don't have cell service there. It's just there's no fences. The people are
happy.
they're happy, and they're island
Yeah.
people from that culture is like it was 500 years ago. Well, maybe
You're just pulling that out of your butt.
100
But
years ago.
it's freaking amazing. That's the point. But that was our last stop actually before leaving for Hawaii. So we left Fanning Island, and the first couple of days were sweet, good sailing. And as soon as we tacked up north, the weather got pretty gnarly. It was windy, and the waves got progressively bigger. And the days leading up to the accident, the waves were like 30 feet high. And the closer we got to the islands, the more confused the wave patterns got and the windier it got because of a funneling effect of the big island of Hawaii.
So basically, what happens is in the Hawaiian Islands, the trade winds come and they blow from the United States all the way to Hawaii. So you have what's called fetch in sailing terms. Fetch is the distance that the wind has to make waves, and the fetch is over 2,000 miles. So if you have a big system that's up on top of Hawaii, you can get a 2,000 mile fetch, and if it's blowing like that for a few days, the waves get big. And for us, it was 3 systems in a row, so the waves didn't have a chance to go back to nothing, and it's like 25-foot plus waves. We were standing on top of the boat, and the waves were above our heads. So what happens in the Hawaiian Islands is you have a funneling effect on the top and the bottom, like through the channels between the islands and on the bottom of the big island. There's a funneling effect and a wave refraction effect that happens. And what happened and what took Zingaro out was this effect. So we ended up in this trifecta of fucked, and we got in this thing right before the leave the island, and it
we were so
it was like a
close.
washing machine, and these waves were picking us up, and it felt like they were picking the boat up and just disappearing from underneath it, and just the boat would just be boom. And after like the second one of these, the boat just snapped in half. So the all of the bulkheads and stringers and main beams failed on one side of the boat at the same time. It started canting out from the boat, and the only thing keeping the hull together now was the deck on top, and even that was breaking. We could hear it cracking and breaking and turning into a like sawdust, and it was really bad. So I'm gonna play the YouTube video one more time. I'm sorry if you saw this already, but this is 50 seconds just for the people that haven't seen it yet.
Just to show the damage.
A 36-foot crane Catalan with 0 persons on board, disabled and drifting in approximate position 1853.72 north, 15641.45 west, about 49 miles west of the Big Island. San Vessel Zingaro, Coast Guard. Roger, best thing a copy on all understand. If we sent a helicopter to your position to hoist you off of your vessel, would you feel comfortable leaving the vessel behind? Over.
Okay, so when you saw the water dripping in from above, that was from the deck that was now supporting the whole hull, and it was cracked. So every time we would take a wave, the waves were breaking over us, and it would just, a whole bunch of water would come in. Luckily the bilge pumps were keeping up with it, but let me retract. So we hear this big crack, and I knew something was wrong. We had heard that before when our stringer broke in the front, just one stringer.
Which was due to rotten wood. So
yeah, that was due to
didn't
rotten
happen.
wood. This actually is not due to rotten wood. This is just stress injury for the boat.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go back to the events.
So we hear the crack. I go downstairs, and I see that the door to the engine room is folded over completely, like in half. So I'm like, oh my God, what could cause that? And then I noticed that the hull is completely separated from the rest of the boat, and I'm like, oh my God, baby, this is bad. I don't know what we're gonna do. So she suggested that we get in the water, or no, that we tie lines around the boat and put them up to a winch. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. We can just have lines going around the whole boat and like tie it together. This was a lot harder to do than it sounds like, because I had a big roll of Dyneema from when I did the rigging. So about half of it was left. It comes in a 600-foot roll. I think I had like 200 or 300 feet left, and it floats. So we couldn't get it under the boat. We tried with lines.
Darkness and the sea state just didn't allow us to get the lines underneath. And every time there was a big wave, it would tear the boat further, and we would hear the cracking, and it smelled like sawdust because the boat was just, out in the open, just grinding away on itself, like everywhere. So this was like an all or nothing situation.
Yeah.
And we decided that drastic
measures needed
to be taken. So James decided to actually jump into the water to get the Dyneema line around the boat. In the dark and in these waves, this was a dangerous undertaking, but he managed to keep out of the boat's way, and he passed the Dyneema line up to me. I put it around the winch. I was like, yeah, we're gonna tighten it now. But if you've ever worked with Dyneema, that stuff is super slippery, so the winch didn't have any grip on it, and we were not able to winch it down
It just
and
kept
tighten
slipping. Every time we got it tight, it would a wave would come and it would be like ka, and it would just pull it out.
So we grabbed the next biggest line, the next strongest line that we had, like a way overkill for Zingaro. It was like a 1-inch halyard from some other boat that
Like
we
a
had
50-foot
gotten as a
cat.
present somewhere in Ecuador.
Yeah.
So we tied that to the Dyneema as to put that on the line, and we tightened it, and it worked. God damn, we actually made it. We've got a chance on this. But 3 waves later, that snapped. It was just not strong enough.
Yeah, that line parted.
So we took the furling line for the jib, which is actually Dyneema with a protection on the outside, so that it wouldn't slip. But it's still Dyneema, so it can withstand the force. I mean, hopefully,
It's called
anyways.
warp speed for all you sailors out there. We had warp speed only on the furler because we'd have that thing part a couple times. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You continue.
Okay, so basically, after the Dyneema was slipping on the winch, we just folded it in half and tied a knot in it, and then had this other line come from there, and that worked.
Actually,
What?
oh, sorry. Yeah, you tell about the strut.
Until it broke the strut. So I had initially just wrapped it around the strut on the bottom. I probably, in retrospect, shouldn't have done that. I just was thinking that this is the only strong thing coming out of the bottom of the boat.
I mean, it's like, what,
Boat's
2-inch
tearing away.
bronze and
Yeah,
stainless
yeah.
steel, so it should probably take the pressure. But
Yeah, it didn't. So about 20 minutes later, the boat snapped again, tried to rip off again, and the strut had snapped off. And instead of going in the water, I actually went in the boat to see what had happened, because I knew what happened. I just wanted to make sure there was no water ingress, and the boat actually took it, bent the prop shaft bent on the boat like 35 degrees probably right as it exits the boat. And man, that's a strong boat if it took that. I'm super proud of Zingaro. Let me just tell you guys that this has been our home. It's like an old friend that we're saying goodbye to. She got us safely into port. She was an awesome boat. She did her duty. Unfortunately, we don't trust her anymore to do the work we want to do, so we're not going to be fixing her. But I really feel like I have to tell you guys that this isn't anything bad about Zing. This is just what happened, and she got us there. She did her job.
We
She
sailed
died
far
getting
on
us in.
her. Yeah. Back to the story though.
Okay, sorry.
So third time is the charm. We tied the warp speed around the whole hull and onto the winch. We tightened it, and that worked, and it held all the way to get us into port. But as we went down into the hull to get the spinnaker and the water jugs and all that kind of stuff that we're keeping in the starboard hull out of it, is to reduce the weight and therefore the stress on that side. It was still bending out like crazy, so we decided that one line wasn't enough, and we actually ended up tying 4 different lines around all the cleats, around the whole boat, like from one side to the other, and all of our cleats were occupied. I think we actually have a video of
yeah, that's right.
of me explaining that live out there. I think that might be a little more interesting.
So this is probably the point where all the people that were watching before we're at that depth.
Yeah. This is how we've been keeping the boat tied together, basically. So it's here on this winch. This is how we tightened it, and it's going around the other winch. So when we had all that set up, 4 different lines, and we felt relatively comfortable that we could take our concentration off of it for more than 5 minutes, we contacted the Coast Guard as to let them know that we're there, as to let them know that we're drifting towards Japan, as to let them know that we're disabled at the moment because we broke the one prop shaft, and the other one was fouled with lines that the parted lines were like wrapped up in the other prop, so we spent a whole day doing that the next day. But we talked to the Coast Guard, and they suggested that they could send out a cutter to us. But that would have taken like 12 hours or something because they're relatively far on a different island from our position. So, but the most important thing was to let them know that we're out there, because they had no idea till this point.
Okay, so everybody's telling me that they got no audio during that video. So I think I've fixed that issue now. So I'm just going to play the video one more time so you can get an idea of exactly what was going on here.
This is how we've been keeping the boat tied together, basically. So it's here on this winch. This is how we tightened it, and it's going around the other winch and around a block that we put to the mid cleat, the center cleat, which is going underneath the boat to the center cleat on the other side, as to pull the whole hull in. It's been going up like this and cracking like that, so we're doing all we can to keep it down and in. We've got 4 different lines going from 4 different winches. And
okay, so you see on the one winch with the line going straight down, that's our furler line going to a bigger Dyneema line going to the end of the hull, and then we have another line going from the midships cleat all the way over around the boat through the cockpit and to the other winch. That line actually did a little bit of damage on the boat. It broke some of the doghouse. I mean, we totally trashed Zingaro saving her. It's not just the cracking. It's there's a lot of wood damage because and the lines were rubbing and like digging into the fiberglass, and it's a lot of damage.
Seems like third time was the charm, and they actually were able to get the audio on this one. Thanks for your feedback, by the way. Very important.
So we decided to, like we said, call the Coast Guard because we were drifting out to sea at this point, and we had drifted 20 miles since this happened through the night. So we called the Coast Guard and we said, listen, you know, we're not calling Mayday, but this is what's happening. They offered us a helicopter, which we were actually kind of hesitant not to take.
The thing was, though, that we had, at that point, talking to the Coast Guard, we felt like the worst was behind us because we had different lines, so if one would snap, at least the other ones would hold, and that would give us time to replace the one line since we had that much Dyneema aboard. Also, if shit would hit the fan completely, we had a life craft because, and this is minor news in this whole scandal, but we actually got a new dinghy, and it's an OC tender, which is a solid dinghy, so nothing inflatable that can pop, and it's unsinkable. Woo! So it also serves as our life raft, and that gave us a huge confidence in that part.
Yeah,
that if we would have to leave Zingaro, if it would flip and we couldn't like stay on Zingaro itself, which obviously with catamarans is always an option unless you're out of aluminum. Well, whatever. So we could go into No Leaky, that's the name of our dinghy, and have our EPIRB there, have our Iridium go to still talk to the Coast Guard, we have like 3 different ways of sending out our GPS position. So we were relatively safe that, if the boat would not make it.
If the boat was going to flip, the OC Tender would have been fine. And
exactly.
Big props to the team at OC Tender. Russ and Karen that own the company gave us the boat. It's coming up in when we get to Tahiti. They actually flew into Tahiti and revamped a boat for us, and super cool. Our favorite piece of gear on the boat. That and the water maker is like right up there. Anyway,
it's a second-hand, already 5 years old, and it still works like new because
it's a bad mofo.
Yeah.
When you guys see it, you're gonna want one.
Okay, back to the topic.
What was the topic? Oh,
us not going on a helicopter. So the option number B was the cutter that they sent down from Oahu, which was at that point I think 170 nautical miles north of us.
That's right.
So it would take them about like 12 hours to get to our position.
We're like a little more. I think they said like 12 to 14 hours.
Somewhere around there. So
so that was going to put them in like around 1 a.m. till like 4 a.m. That's what they said that they would be coming to us.
The thing was, we did not really want to spend another night on Zingaro.
Yeah, we were.
But we didn't want to abandon her either, so that was her choice. that also gave us the whole day to figure out our engine situation. And I would say around noon or a little later, we actually had our port engine running, and we were making progress. I think somewhere around 2 knots to where we wanted to go.
Yeah.
To the closest harbor, and we figured that way we would shorten the waiting time for the Coast Guard guys, and also prove that Zingaro was still seaworthy enough to tow it, because that was what we were hoping for at that point.
That was like a tentative plan that we had made with the cutter, saying, okay, they're going to come down, they're going to try to tow you, but I mean, even if you hook up a big tow line to the mast of a sailboat and then another bridle to the cleats are just going to rip out, and that other boat is so powerful that it's probably just going to like bury the boat, and sometimes they turtle. It's not a good idea.
The sea state doesn't allow it.
The sea state was crazy. I mean, you got to understand that during this whole thing, and why we didn't want to stay on the boat was because we were still taking these huge waves breaking on us, and boom, and we thought at any time the boat is just going to, all the lines are going to part and the boat's just going to flip again. And it was rough. It was a really rough day. That was like one of the worst, probably the worst day at sea we've ever had. I mean, definitely the worst day.
Towards the evening, though, it got better because we actually got into the shadow of the island a little bit. And that was the first time when we actually considered getting into port under our own power. Actually making it without a tow, without having to abandon Zingaro. And that's when the adrenaline slowly started to like wear off, and we started to get really tired.
Yeah, because we had been in the water and stuff. So the timeline is boat breaks about 2 a.m. We fix it and we call the Coast Guard about 5 a.m. They have a cutter coming out that's going to leave at 1300, which is 1 p.m. and they're going to get to us at like 4 a.m. They ended up getting to us at 9:30 at night, and they were flying. They said they lost an engine on the way, and they had like 2 guys puking over the side because they were freaking flying. That's like an average of 20 knots in 20-foot seas. So, I mean, huge thank you to the Coast Guard. When they did come down the next day when we got into port, they said that they were watching our videos. I guess, I don't know how they knew that we were YouTubers, but they said that they were watching our videos on the way down, and they were super stoked to be helping us out, and like that's what they sign up for. So at one point during the night, I called the captain and I was like, hey man, we're gonna run out of diesel. We didn't plan on motoring 60 miles. What can we do? And they're like, oh, we'll get you some diesel. And they came over in their skiff, which is like this giant dinghy, and it's like huge waves, and we were like throwing gas cans back and forth. And they had tied, consequently, they had tied chem lights to the gas cans, so at night we could transfer them, and if they fell in the water, I thought that was pretty slick. But yeah, thank you, Coast Guard. All the guys on the crew of the Oliver Berry, if you guys know anybody in the Coast Guard, go give them a hug for us. They are, I mean, amazing people, super good at their job, super pro, super.
Okay, so that puts us on morning day 2, where we were actually able to see Hawaii for the first time. And at that point, the sea state had calmed down considerably. So, but we told the Coast Guard that we didn't need a tow anymore, that we were gonna be able to get into port under our own power with their diesel fuel. And we made it into Kona the next day at around noon, I would say.
Yeah,
and
probably.
That was a relief. So, plans for the future. I mean, we ripped Zingaro apart. I mean, can you believe it? It
sucks, yeah.
All this time after, it's still hard to believe that we're not gonna go sailing on her again, but we're not.
It took us a while to make that decision. It's been, I mean, this happened on December 22nd, so it's been like a month and a week. And the reason that we made the decision not to fix her is because we're never going to trust her again. Even if we repair one side and the other side, because if you just make one side strong, the other side will fail. It's just not the boat that we need to do anything else. I mean, we feel blessed that this happened where it did, because we were planning on refitting Zingaro and going to Japan from here. And we still want to do that, but we can't do that on Zing. Unfortunately, she's going to be She's going to be retired to
A
a
coastal
new
cruiser.
owner, which can take her wherever they want to. But we'll find somebody. If you guys know anybody that would like to buy her, we'll sell her cheap, with all her gear on her still.
Definitely, lots of work.
But it's a lot of work. We have some people that can help. We have some masterminds that can teach, or you know, I think whoever gets the boat is going to be in good hands, but it's too much work, and it's never going to be the same boat, and it's never going to be a boat that
Should sail to Japan.
should sail to Japan. Exactly.
It's a coastal cruiser, and that's okay, and I think she's gonna have a great second life there. But we'll need something new, and this is what we've been working on for the last couple of weeks, ever since the accident, really. And yeah, let's.
Oh yeah.
We just. Oh, do we have a video for that?
No, but I can use the computer screen and
Oh,
I can
okay.
go to the Kickstarter. Let me just go to the Kickstarter real quick.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
So, you just took it away. We launched a Kickstarter campaign, I think 5 hours ago, a little longer, 6 hours ago, and it basically is to get
Wow.
Zingaro back on the water and keep
so-
the cameras rolling. And this is what it looks like.
So this is my software. Sorry. So yeah, this is our campaign, and it took a long time for us to make this. That's why we've been radio silent. To do a good Kickstarter, it's a lot of work.
We didn't have any time to make any episodes. We didn't have any time to explore Hawaii. We set on this Kickstarter campaign. Believe it or not, it's incredible how much work goes into that.
Yeah.
But I mean, up until the moment that you posted, there was so much doubt for us, and there was so much like changing things and figuring out whether there's like another way of doing it. We considered all kinds of things, but as soon as we posted it, we had so many people jump in and contribute into this that it's just freaking amazing. I mean, we're a quarter funded
Yeah,
right
that's
now at
amazing.
this moment
That's
of
really
time
amazing.
after 7 hours.
So
And I just want to thank all of you that have been helping us in planning this, that have been encouraging us to put this up, and last but not least, everybody that contributed already in these first hours. Thank you guys so much.
So this is right here is our new boat that we
Let's check
want.
whether they all can see that, just because we've got a history.
Okay. Oh yeah, they can. Good. So this is going to be Zingaro 2. She's a Shioning 1320 Cosmos. It's basically a daggerboard cat, just like Zingaro, but a newer design. They're designed by Jeff Shioning. I have to sneeze.
Oh, God.
That was nice. They're designed by Jeff Shioning. He's an Australian designer.
Just like Crotha.
They are. This one was professionally built, and it is about 43 feet, so a little bit longer, and it's got a bowsprit and a couple more sails. We're gonna do. This is what we're going for. We have 13 grand. We need like 47,000 to put down on the boat. So we're trying to raise $34,000 so we can finance the boat. We've already got the loan, and it looks like if we keep going at this rate, we're definitely going to fund this.
Well,
thing.
at this rate, we're gonna be done tomorrow morning. But
Yeah.
so, exactly, we're trying to. Oh, can you put them back on us? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
So, $40,000 is what we're trying to raise, which is a bunch of money, and
10% of that's going to go to fees and shipping and stuff.
and that will be the down payment for Zingaro 2. We're not gonna compromise whether a cruising style and not going as too far off places with like a cheaper boat, nor do we want to be on a monohull, because in the last 2 years we've been to so many places that only we could go, because all our buddies with their monohulls could just not handle it with the rolling, like no
Yeah,
joke.
That's true.
And especially the last places that we've been, and we are proud to always go on the road less traveled, and we're proud to always sail the extra mile to show you guys some really remote destinations that nobody
Yeah.
else can go for those reasons, or just doesn't want to
Yeah,
go
because
because
it
it's
sucks.
freaking uncomfortable.
But
But
a lot
the
of the time
content
it
that we're
sucks.
producing that way is just special, and that's why you guys are
Yeah.
probably here. And we just want to continue. This is like all or nothing, honestly.
Yep.
And
Speaking of all or
as you
nothing.
have noticed, this boat is pretty fancy looking because we're gonna be having people come aboard. Like patrons have been turning down stays on Zingaro, no joke.
Yeah, that's right.
And we don't want this happening again. We want to have people down, and we're gonna be paying the loan off partially by offering cruising experiences, which is part of our Kickstarter campaign also. We're gonna give you a super homie hookup to come cruise with us, teach you sailing, teach you snorkeling, whatever the fuck it is that you want to do.
Yep.
And we're really stoked about that.
And you know, when during this time too, we've always wanted to have people down, but our boat's really not set up for, you know, Zingaro anyway is not set up for having people there. Having a bigger boat and having our own space in your own head would mean that we could have really cool people down. We could invite or fly in, you know, professional spear fishermen, professional free divers. We could make, you know, these really cool videos on, you know, how the pros do it and how. We have so many ideas about this, and we've been mulling these over for years, but we haven't been able to have the boat ready for that. So.
And
maybe
now
this
we're
will
kind
turn
of
out.
forced to look for something new because Zingaro is just not an option anymore. And
Unfortunately.
yeah, we're kind of trying to turn this into a blessing instead of.
It is a blessing, baby. Dude, if we had wrecked anywhere else in the last 3,000
But I'm
miles,
just
it would
saying,
have
not
been
breaking.
so bad.
I'm just trying to
so
have-
bad. We got blessed that she broke up. I mean, it's almost like she was tired and she wanted to stop. And she let us know right at the end, like, look, I can't go anymore. Had we gone to Japan on this boat, babe, this would have been a tragic story instead of this kind of blessed story where people can help us out and, like, I mean...
Let's find her a second life, though, okay? That's
we
like
will,
the least
and I'd
thing we
love
can
to
do
be a
for
part
her.
of that for the next person. How cool would it be in 2 years to come and, like, help the new owner's sailor to Tahiti or something? That'd be so awesome. But no, that's neither here nor there. Right now, we're focused on, like, let's get this Kickstarter campaign rolling. If we can get the money for the down payment, we've got the loan. Let's do it, man. Let's make this thing cool. We're not gonna make crappy content. We're not gonna wait and, you know, only go to Bahamas. We're still gonna go to this crazy route on, you know, what we want to do is come back to Hawaii and then go to Japan, Alaska, Galapagos. Down the U.S., Galapagos, and then Patagonia, and then maybe back to Easter Island.
Patagonia is southern Chile, and it's just gorgeous. And we met a couple of people that have been there in Easter Island. We met them in Easter Island, and it was right then we decided we had to go. But from Easter Island, you could actually jump off to Patagonia, but Zingaro was just not up for the task, so we could not go. And right now we're in the works to find a boat that can take us there, or that we can take each other there, you know.
Yep.
So that's it. Check it out, people.
I'm putting the Kickstarter campaign in the notes. I'm gonna put it in the description of the video. We're gonna put it in pretty much everywhere, so it makes it easy for people to go there. If you can, great. If you can't, if you guys could share it, that is the best thing that we need, is just a little bit of publicity, because a lot of you guys didn't even know until today, and this happened a month ago. We've been in the paper. I've got a Sail magazine article coming out. We just need a little bit more publicity to say, look, these guys, they're doing something awesome. They're living their journey, and, you know, here's $10 to help them out. If we get enough people with $10, this thing will happen. I mean, it's a quarter funded in the first 6 hours. So not even 5 hours. That's amazing.
So guys, let's show them real quick what we can do there. We've got an early bird special right now.
Oh yeah,
going
you want to
on.
see that.
So we're basically selling prints, and we sold a bunch of smaller prints, bigger prints, metal prints already. If you want to have a look at the rewards, this is how Kickstarter works. So we decided onto this page because we took a bunch of awesome pictures in the last years, and that they're worth sharing. So we're selling prints for you guys as a gift or for your home, whatever you please. So we've got an early bird special for early birds.
This is the early bird special.
That's gonna be running another day.
Yeah.
And check it out. You're getting 50% off. So that's worth it too.
So this pledge, the pledge of $50 and the pledge of $90 are actually the same pledge, which it's funny because people are buying both. But we're going to send you an 8x10 print. We're going to sign it. We're going to send it to you whoever you want it to go to, and you can pick between these 3 prints. This is us underwater at a place called Makatea. That was one of our favorite places. It was beautiful. We had a professional photographer with us.
And I'm gonna produce the remaining episodes of all these things, no matter what happens. I've got like another 3-4 months of making videos, so you guys are gonna get to see this no matter what, because I'm just too proud of it to just let it go and get myself another job. So let's hope we can continue, and let's hope we can go into some higher latitudes and produce some different content there, like less of the barefoot route. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do that anyways.
Not that we're sick of the Caribbean or the tropics. I like the tropics. We've met enough people now that have been to Patagonia, and we want to go to places. We love going to places that have nobody there, or no cruisers go, or maybe it's a little difficult, and the reef is amazing or something. And Japan is one of those places where not a lot of people go. I think Follow the Boat is going there. I think I would love to go there. And I don't know, it's just one of those things. Like, you can sail to China. Did you know you could sail to China? I didn't even know I could sail to China before a year ago, but now I want to sail to China, dude. And that's on the way to Japan. And, you know, who knows where else.
Tough legally from what I've read, but dude, we totally forgot to show them the damage from inside the head. So for the ones of you that already checked out the Kickstarter campaign, you can watch this video. Everybody that hasn't seen the Kickstarter campaign yet, please check out the link that James is going to post in a second, and check it out.
All right, so look at this. This is Zingaro.
You can see right through the... You can see through that, and the whole angle of the hull. I'm not sure whether the picture or the video can pick this up, but it's like easy 30 degrees off, like this, to the outside and up. Oh wow, the ceiling. But this is by far the worst. You can see right into the locker and right through. Oh man, we just let off a little on the...
Just answer questions.
On the ties that we had tying Zingaro together. Oh my god, it's hot in here. And it went right back to what it looked like out to sea, just that every time that there was a big wave, we were just picked up, and it even like stretched that more out. And now that we spent like 3 days now in a room on a nice mattress with James's family, thank you so much, Pam and Jim, by the way. And I thought maybe it wasn't that bad, but it's good to be back here and actually see that I didn't exaggerate it like after the fact. This is fucking insane. I'll try to get a picture like from the front to the back, because all the stringers are broken. And whoa. And it's just, this is mental. Wow, I can't believe we got Zingaro back into a safe harbor. Yeah.
It's weird to see that. Okay, so now I think we're talking about what we wanted to talk about, and we're going to answer some of you guys' questions. So there's like 1 million comments and more people watching this than we've ever had, so just give us a break. We're not going to get to everybody.
And a round of applause to everybody.
And thank you
Welcome.
very much for watching. So to answer some of your questions, no, we didn't have insurance. We had tried to get insurance twice, but with the route that we were taking, and that Zingaro was a home-built boat that was 35 years old, we got only one quote that from all the insurance companies we tried, and it was for $15,000 a year. And at the time, the boat only cost me $65, so that was way too much money. It was like $1,200 a month or something crazy. So we didn't have insurance. I figured I could just fix, whatever broke, but this is like catastrophic. I didn't figure this, and you never do. In retrospect, had I been paying that insurance, I would have been in the black, like maybe 10 grand. So it wasn't really worth it in the end either. But yeah, now we were always thinking in the back of our mind that we wanted to upgrade boats, and we were going to sell Zingaro for like 60 or 70 grand, and then save 20 grand, and then be able to put a good chunk of money down on it. But that's obviously not going to happen now. So what we're doing is with Zingaro is we're going to clean her up. We got the mast down. That was actually a really cool story too. I don't think we have time to go into it here, but we used a tree. We hauled her out at night. We took her down Front Street in Lahaina, Maui, and it was just totally fun. We had like maybe 12 people out there helping us. It was all the sailors from the whole island came out and helped Zingaro because it was, we were pulling her out of the water and taking her down Front Street at 3 o'clock in the morning and taking the mast down with tabernacle. It was super awesome. But basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean her up. We're gonna put her up for sale for about 15 grand. I think is a good price for her. She's still got new sails and good props and everything's good. The engines run great. The problem is they need to do a lot of structural repairs, and not only to one side, but you got to do it on the other side too. So we're being realistic about it. We're not trying to like slough it off on somebody. We're not trying to fix it and act like it's not fixed. We're just trying to find somebody that wants to get into a cat for cheap and wants to learn the skills or has the skills to fix her. It's not impossible. It can be fixed. I understand that. Let's see.
James Rollins is saying that she was a fighter and she made it back into port safely. That is right, and we're super proud of her for that. And yes, we're gonna take the coffee sock to our next boat because that's how we make coffee.
Are we gonna put shark's teeth on the next boat? You know what? I think that we're thinking about, if we do Japan, putting dragons on the next boat.
But this is super secret squirrel news.
That's secret squirrel stuff.
Because you gotta switch it up from time to time. We're not so set on the sharks.
Yeah.
But I do like riding into an anchorage and not having a boat. It's nice to do your own thing and not just have a completely white boat because it looks yachtsy. Like, what kind of reason is that? Have some dragons on your bow. Have some fucking finger paint. I like that kind of stuff.
I'm digging that too.
For people have been asking about the charters in the comments, and just to catch up with that, what we're offering in the Kickstarter campaign are cruising experiences. So basically, you come down for a week or two if you want, with your best buddies or your lover, and we will take you to do whatever you want to do. And we'll go sailing, we'll be spearfishing if that's something you're into, we'll go freediving, surfing, chasing waves, and all that. And it'll be like not like a charter because it's more like showing people the ropes on a boat and what cruising is like, because a lot of people contact us and they're like, I'm not sure if I will actually like cruising. It seems a little rough, especially when I'm watching your videos. So it could also be a reality check for people that are saving up or thinking about getting into a boat, whether you and your family are actually into that kind of thing. And that's what we're offering. And as I said before, the Kickstarter campaign, we're offering a homie hookup to everybody that's jumping on this train in the early days. So yeah, that was a lot of talking. Did I cover everything?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, was that it?
I'm going to answer a couple more questions. Will you have a fridge and AC on your next boat? Definitely not AC, but we're going to have a heater on it. So I'm not sure about a fridge. Probably I would like to have a fridge and a freezer, but that's not a big deal. I guess if we're going to be doing higher end charters or cruising experiences, then we're probably going to have a fridge, but I'm not really worried about AC.
Nah, as long as you have good ventilation, that's the way to go. And in past videos, we've shown you the fans that we're using.
That's Rocket. That's my neighbor's dog.
The fans that we're using, and that's the way we're doing it, because it's like way more energy efficient and simpler. Less maintenance also.
Get your new boat insured, James Rollins said. James Rollins also said that he saw my SoundCloud and he liked it. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
How did you find that?
I'll do some more music for the channel. If you guys didn't know, I do a lot of music for the channel. I don't always say it's me.
Whoa, somebody just said that our Kickstarter campaign is at over 25% right now.
Wow, that's
Is that
cool.
true? That's fucking awesome.
So
thanks, guys, for everybody that's chipping in. It doesn't matter at what amount at this point, because it's about to get the momentum rolling. And if you get a lot of people, a lot of backers in the first days on Kickstarter, then they suggest you to other people, and that, you know, gets the train rolling. And
Yeah.
in the end, that's what will get us onto the water quicker.
So we've gotten a bunch of people that said, why only 29 days for the Kickstarter goal? We read that 60 days is max, and we read that most of the projects that are 30 days or less get funded more often than one that's strewn out to 60 days. So we figured either we're going to hit it or we're not, so we might as well just make it, you know, kind of a here, do it now kind of thing. And like Kimmy said, the first day, the first couple days is the most important, because if you are trending on Kickstarter and people are interested in it, then they start promoting you too.
Exactly.
Which is super.
Which is
neat.
why, yeah, we just read up, because we don't have any experience. We're sailors. We're not really into marketing tools. We're not pros on this. So all we can do is just read what other people say about how crowdfunding works best, and just read the analytics basically and make a plan out of that. So that's why we launched an early bird special, so that in the first couple of days we'd get more people to chip in. Valentine's Day is coming up, so we're not going to be delivered in time.
No.
Never mind. This is not a Valentine's gift. Okay, what were you going to say?
Another question that we've had is whether or not when I was in the water did I tie a line around myself. I've done this before, and no, I didn't tie a line around myself because the boat was drifting, and I think the line would foul, and possibly there was a girl here in Maui that almost got ripped in half because of that, because the line got sucked up into the prop.
Oh, that's so scary.
And I would never do that. What I would do, though, in retrospect now, is wear a helmet. I think I'm gonna have a diving helmet, not a diving helmet, a climbing helmet, like a really low pro helmet, because that's what I'm worried about, is the prop coming down on my head and knocking me out, and then it'd be super hard. Oh, and next time I will wear a harness also,
so that I have an easier time winching him up with a halyard in case he knocks out or something. So while he was on the water, I was there with a flashlight, and I was ready to like pull him up on the boat if something would have happened. But he had always kept a good distance from the boat, as good as it was possible in the darkness and in the sea state that we were in. And not saying this was not dangerous, I'm just saying we had it mildly under control.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? As much as you could be under control in a situation like this.
So James Rollins asks, do you owe any money to the boat for your wrecked boat? No, we don't owe anything. I had paid that cash for that boat out of my savings. We're not trust fund kids. I had worked for 5 years. I've been living on sailboats for almost 13 years. I started living on sailboats right when Delos bought their boat. So I just didn't have the money for the boat, but I had the dream, and it was like 5 years of them cruising and me watching La Vagabond and Delos and being like, oh my God, I have to do this. And then finally I got enough money to buy my own boat. But this was like, Zingaro was my 4th boat, so this will be our 2nd boat and my 5th boat. And I know what I want now. We definitely know what we want, and it's a Daggerboard cruiser, and we're going to go all the way, and we're going to show you some badass content with it. That's it. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
If you'd like to be part of
Hell
the journey,
yeah.
go to Kickstarter, support us. We love you. I'm so grateful we have such a good family. We've gotten nothing but love. I think for every 1,000 messages I get one hate mail like, you should get a job. We have received so much support and love during this time. It's amazing. You guys are so awesome.
Thanks a lot to all the patrons, really, that have been kicking our asses to get this campaign out, and just telling us how much they appreciate the content, and that they're totally in for a next ride, and that they want to help any way it's possible. And spreading the word is a huge deal of that, and that's what people have been doing for us, and that's so motivating. We were talking about just like, while still on Zingaro, motoring into Hawaii, you know, we're like, fuck this. Maybe this is a sign we should just do something new, go to school, move to Berlin, whatever. And as soon as we were on land and we like got the word out to our patrons, told them what happened, that wasn't even an option anymore because so many people were like, this has to continue. This show needs to get back on the water ASAP. What are you guys gonna do?
I don't want to
We
quit.
want these videos.
Yeah.
So that was a huge motivation. I'm super thankful for all of you that send us messages of love and support. It was a tough time, but together we're gonna get through this. It looks like.
This was a very, very tough time for us, our relationship, business. It was so stressful, and now that we're got the ball rolling with this campaign, and that we're finally telling everybody what happened, it's like a huge weight is lifted off our chests. I feel so much better. So thank you guys for watching. This has been our most productive live stream ever. I think in the first version we had like 1,500 people watching. This one's got like 700 now. We love you all. Thank you. We're gonna do something awesome together.
I'm pretty confident we will.
All right. Till next time. If you guys would like some updated reports, if you'd like to see the video of Zingaro coming out of the water and going down the street, that's all on Patreon. Patreon.com/svzingaro.
Yeah.
I'll put that in the description of this video too. All right. We will be making more videos now. And catching up with some awesome content. We can't wait to show you guys Easter Island and Pitcairn. We got really blessed and got to go to all the Pitcairn Islands and meet some pirates there, and that were direct descendants of the bounty mutineers.
So that was a point that I always wanted to touch up on, is that we're definitely gonna create this content. We've had 3 live streams, it feels like, and I don't know what I've said already, but we're gonna make the episodes, all the footage that we took over the last 6 months, we are still gonna produce. We're gonna keep on doing the episodes because they're worth it. And even when Zingaro wrecked, I felt like I'd do it again because all this was so worth it, and I can't wait to show you guys.
Yeah. So peace for now. Thank you guys for all your support.
And for your patience, people. Thanks for letting us try 3 different times.
Share the Kickstarter link. That's the share. I just put the Kickstarter link up on the notes. It's also in the description. If you guys could share it, that's the best you could do for us. It just, send it out on your feed, on your social media feed. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, and join our adventure if you feel like it. If you want to be part of this journey, then the time is now. If any of you ever consider to be supporting us on Patreon or anything, then now is the time.
Okay, bye. Much love.
Thanks, guys.